Okay.
Okay.
So, once again, not to scale.
Oh yeah, get short. Definitely get short.
Day 3, cleaning out the desert.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Get Short series. So yesterday you pretty much watched us gather the bottom half of Pasture 2 into what we call the desert. They're going to stay in the desert overnight, and this morning what we're doing is we're getting around the cattle. We're going to gather them all up and take them out of the desert and through the second half of Pasture 2 on to pasture number 3.
Gate is right there on top of that other ridge. They're bringing their cattle down into this draw. We're going to drop ours down and then trail them up that fence, that gate. I think that's the plan. Just make sure all these fall off. Come here, Cotton. I prefer to go that way inside hill down. That sucker right there. They're falling off there, but that's freaking steep. Yeah, okay. No, I'm waiting until they all fall off, and then we got to go over there and drop down. So you drop in right here between me and Jules, okay? Let's mash them right on up, old son. Yep. Woo! Let's go, boys. Yeah, buddy. Woo! Hey. 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 Yeah! Yeah!
Somebody's gonna have to work that side because we gotta bump them that way. So get somebody, see those cattle coming down?
Yeah.
Our cattle are bending to the left, so try to bend them to the right a little bit.
All right, Abby, ride up. Jules, ride up. Take their spot, Em. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Bend them to the right. Bend them to the right.
Alright guys, so right here in the video, what we got here is we got all our cattle kind of wadded up in the bottom of this draw. And the gate is at the top of this hill that we're standing at the bottom of. Now Dad just informed me which direction we need to bend the cattle in order to hit that gate, because we really can't see it yet at this point. The reason why I hurried the girls around the left side is because with a set of cattle this big in this particular situation, we kind of needed to get around there in a quick way. So once they start applying pressure to the left-hand side of the herd, it's me and Dad's job to block the right-hand side of the herd in order to angle those cattle up the draw to the gate so they can find it. Once the cattle find the gate, they usually flow through it pretty good, and all you have to do is keep some pressure on them and keep them from kind of bleeding out on you. So right here in this part of the video, we're trying to get those leaders to find the gate at the top of this hill, and it's our job at the back to kind of keep the pressure up, keep the flow coming towards the gate, and then bend ours in the correct direction.
Shh. Oh. Shh. Shh. Yep. Hey. Hey, cattle. Hey, cattle. I'm gonna have to ride back right here, Dad. Right here, Em. Come to me. Shh. Hey. Oh. Shh. Woo, boy, I got me a cow pony. Hey, cattle. They find the gate. Ha. Hey, 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 good job, ladies.
So another really cool thing to watch as we work these big, large numbers of cattle, whether they're lined out down a fence or on a road, or if they're in a great big bunch, kind of the way we work is each cowhand is part of a piece of like a moving fence almost. So if the front of the fence moves up, the next piece moves up, the next and the next and the next, all the way to the back. And so kind of what you have here is you have Abby and Natalie on the front left. Then you have Jules and Emily kind of towards the back, and me and Dad on the front right. And so you have us in kind of a U formation. And basically what we're doing is riding back and forth to one another in order to block the cattle in the direction we want them to go. When you work with a crew a lot and you start gelling with one another, it's a really cool thing to watch people who are really good at this technique to get cattle going in the direction they want them to go. At this point in the summer, the girls and us, we're all still learning how to work with one another. And so you'll hear me coaching and teaching quite a bit. Dad coaches and teaches, Cody. Everybody's coaching in order to get us sharpened up to be the best that we can be. But the girls are doing really good at this particular moment in the video, blocking the cattle up towards the gate. And it's just, if you think about it like a big revolving moving fence, is kind of how we explain it.
Go ahead, Em. Oh, that's a crevasse. A good spot to cross, huh? Really?
All right, guys, so this is kind of a rough guess, but I'm guessing that when I was in this part of my circle, when we hit this patch of trees, this is when Dad hit the gate with the front of the herd. So I still had an awful long way to go to get to where he was, but we had these cattle strung out down the fence a long ways. Pretty much on the fence of this pasture, there's a great trail that goes all the way to the gate, but we can't walk right in the cattle. So right here, we're walking, trying to pick our way through these willows and trees and stuff to stay on the sides of the cattle. There's one particular spot where we had to kind of put ourselves in the middle of the herd and kind of cut them off and walk up the trail because the timber was just too thick to get through. All you do right there is find a little gap, put yourself there, be real quiet, and walk right on the trail with them, and they normally don't get too bothered. Alright guys, so in the last video I talked about working the sides and then seeing spots where the cattle potentially could bleed out on you. And this is a situation right here in this gather where that went terribly wrong. So there's a little creek right here with a culvert, then the culvert's kind of popping out of the ground a little bit. And it's a good crossing, but the cattle kind of balked at it and then bled out into this thick timber right here. So I had to get off my horse and leave it there at the crossing and kind of go on foot into these trees. This is one of those situations where if somebody would have been at that spot blocking the trees so the cattle didn't bleed out into them and they crossed the creek right there, we wouldn't have to be doing this. So when it's the first time in a pasture, this is the kind of stuff that can happen to you is you really don't see it coming. You don't even know it's up there really. And even though Cody kind of warned us about this spot, you don't know exactly where it is. So when that happens, you just kind of got to make chicken salad out of chicken crap and get in the trees and try to beat them out of the trees. So I'm pretty sure me and Natalie and Jules are all on foot at this point up in the trees with the cattle, trying to get them to come down off the mountain back down to the trail that we have. All the while, Dad is still at the gate counting the cattle that cross the creek on their own.
Better climbers than me. Hey, cattle. I'll have to check for ticks tonight, baby. Hey, cattle! Hey! 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 Get down that mountain! I'm like a damn cow dog. Ooh. Ooh. Get down there! Hey! 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 Come on, bro. Gosh dang it. Okay. No man left behind. Crap. It sucks. This sucks. Yeah, buddy. This sucks. Okay. I don't see him now. I can hear him though. Hey, cattle. Hey! Hey! That sucker's still climbing. Dumb asshole. Are you kidding? Come on, man. Oh, I'm bringing you back, you piece of crap. Well, the romance is dead today. Might help if I get him back. Help me out mentally. That was a long way. All right. I don't think we're gonna have them all today, guys. Oh, I'm gonna come back and get you. Cody, you want me to go back that way or drop off here? What you need?
The fence is right here. We should. I think we got him now.
I am so glad I started working out. That mountain climbing would have been rough on a fella. Ouch, I know that hurt. Trees, bro. Did Jules stay back and help Abby? Okay. Well, no whistling. Yep. Do not jump, my friend.
Well, we're split off on you. We're on the other draw where Natalie came up with me. I hated leaving you guys, but probably got you another 100 dead.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was going to try to hit them down and head them back down to where you guys were at. We hit that other draw and it falls into like where that big wash is at.
Yeah.
Fell right down in there pretty good.
You good? Allie, you good? Oh, you ain't, you're good. I was just making sure I didn't want to run off and leave you crossing them trees. What is that down there?
I'm hoping it's the neighbors, but